Okay, there we go. Sorry. They're like really weird about us using like school stuff for off school hours. So want to make sure.
That's okay. Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good. How do you stay looking so young all the time?
Botox.
Wait, oh, you actually did get Botox.
Mm-hmm.
Where exactly? On
My
just like,
forehead. Mm-hmm.
what exactly did you do to it?
Are we recording? No, we're not recording. Yeah.
Yeah, we are.
Awesome. Yeah, they do like little pin pricks around here and like down in my eyebrow and then like over here.
So what's the purpose for that
You
exactly?
know, just to have people ask me questions like you just asked me, what keeps me looking so young? And I'm not a liar, so I said Botox.
Yeah, well, like I'm wondering, like, what does that actually does that?
What does the Botox do? It just like
Yeah.
paralyzes the muscles because the reason that you get wrinkles is because you like, you know, I have been your teacher. I'm very expressive. And, you know, the more you're like lifting your eyebrows and making your faces and doing things that you use in teaching, the more it like wears down like the muscles in the skin. So the older you get, the thinner your skin gets. And that's what makes wrinkles appear. So the Botox makes it's like my own personal chill pill. Like I can still make faces. I can still do things with my eyebrows and like do the things that I need to do, but it keeps me from like going so overboard that one, I look weird, and two, it saves my face.
Well, I never stressed you out, so I don't see why you would have to get them.
Straight lies. Just straight lies. Should we start with the pictures of you, Ashby? Like, do you want to play this game with me?
There's a lot of them.
Literally so many, but all in a red hoodie. Every single one. You loved that red hoodie.
Yeah, I get stuck to things. Even now, still, I wear like I kind of wear the same things, and I just can't wait to wash them so I can wear them again.
It's
I
good to
just
know that about yourself.
yeah, I get like possessive over things, and like I don't want to give them up.
That's funny.
It's a really weird thing. I don't know. I'm just weird.
No, it's not. I think it's normal.
So, all right. So tell everyone you've known me since I was 10,
12, 11.
12, or somewhere. So
Sixth
it's been.
sixth grade. So like 11 turning 12, depending if you were old for your grade or young for your grade.
I was always young, but
So
you
you were
taught
probably
me
11.
the age I am now. You were when you taught me.
How old are you now? 22?
23.
Oh, were you my first class?
I don't know.
Um, no, I think you were my second class.
Okay.
It was you had Miss Footman and me, right?
Yeah.
And then you had Terbeek and Fintel.
He used to have anger problems. Which,
You
no, no. Which one was it? Turbik? He had anger problems. He would always yell at us.
did
I mean,
not have anger problems.
we
Y'all
were
just
bad.
took us there.
No, we were bad, but he had anger
Did
problems.
you have Friendship and Hepburn, or did you have, I'm trying to figure out what class, who'd you have for eighth grade? Did I
I,
teach you again?
yeah, you definitely taught me in eighth grade, but I forgot. I had
Okay, then you definitely were my first class because my first class I only had one time. I thought I had you twice.
Yeah, you did.
Okay,
Lucky,
yeah, I
lucky
had you in
you.
sixth and eighth.
Lucky you.
Just couldn't get enough Ashby Diaz.
Yeah, like I can't. Like you're young. I'm turning 24, so you taught me when you were 22.
Mm-hmm.
I used to see like you guys as like dinosaurs, but like now I'm like, oh, you were actually really young when you taught me.
Yep, because I started Baltimore City right out of college. So I went abroad for a year and taught in Uganda and then came back and started. So I would have been like 20, 23. I would have been right. I would have been your age.
Wow. In Baltimore City, I'm my age and I don't want to move back to Baltimore City. I haven't been there since December of 2019.
Your family's still there though, right?
I haven't seen them since.
Wow.
I know,
Since
right?
2019. Oh, because the panorama.
Kind of, but I just kind of wanted to stay here and just kind of figure myself out.
Right.
I'm still not there, but we're getting there.
Work in progress. Work in progress. You
We're
got
getting
time.
we're getting there, Miss Kuhlman.
That's right. It was so funny because I logged in and it was like podcast with Caroline. I was like, who's
Yeah.
Caroline?
I started typing Miss Coleman. I was like, wait, I can say Caroline.
I'm an adult. She's an adult.
Yeah. I don't really count myself as an adult yet, but
I don't either. I feel like this is the most grown up thing I've ever done. Like doing a podcast with a student who is now an adult. Like I think I've kind of peaked out on like the adulting today. I'm like, oh, wow, he is grown.
yeah, I started because I noticed like I'm obviously not a shy person, but like I've noticed I've had trouble with like keeping the conversation going. So I
Really?
started a podcast. Yeah, kind of. Not really, but like I wasn't where I wanted to be.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started a podcast and now it's like I'm getting better at it.
You're getting really good at it. I
Yeah.
creeped on a couple just to see what I should expect.
Oh
So,
yeah. There's very different people on my podcast. I don't stick to just one group, but I'm getting better. I gotta teach myself, but obviously my teachers failed me, so
I was not a speech teacher, nor was I a communications teacher. Can you write? That would be my job. Can you read? That would have been my job.
that's arguable. I actually just bought an Audible book by Matthew McConaughey, his book Green Lights.
Well, see, look, you have a book. That's good.
Well,
People
I
love to be read
realized
to. You love to be read to, even when you were in my class. Like you loved when I did read alouds.
because I hated reading, and I still do. That's why I acted like I just loved it because I didn't want to read. So like,
I mean, well, you tricked me, Ashby. You
and my
tricked.
mom couldn't read to me because she couldn't read English. So
Right, right.
you had the spotlight there.
Yes. The
And
corner market.
yeah, so like I started reading to learn more, and I was like, I hate this. So I got really big into podcasts. I'm like, all right, I'm learning now. But I was like, I want to learn more. Me talking to people,
Right.
I'm learning so much. It's like sticking. I notice when like I read something, it doesn't stick to me. But when I'm talking to someone and they teach me things, it's just
It's that kinesthetic learner. You learn by doing.
yeah, that's I guess. So when did you first know you wanted to teach? And well, let's start specifically in Baltimore City and O'Donnell Heights, because that's a bold thing to do.
Okay, so I came in my last year of college. I at a small liberal arts women's college, a Seven Sister, at Bryn Mawr College,
Wait,
and
can I call you out for keeping up with the culture? You're really good at that because I see the ring light and all.
yeah, I got my ring light. I got my blue light glasses. I don't actually wear glasses,
You're
but
really good at keeping up with the culture. That's a good teacher right
no,
there.
it's
I
that
just had to
TikTok
say,
right there.
that's a good teacher keeping up with the culture.
At Miss Kuhlman. I'm just saying if your followers want to follow me. I'm gonna
Uh,
plug myself. I have almost 6,000 followers. I'm a very big deal, Ashby.
no way, really?
100%. Would I lie to you?
All
I'm
right,
very cool.
when we wrap up, I'll get your TikTok. I'll check
I thought that's why you asked me here.
it. 6,000. I wouldn't expect that.
I know I'm a very big deal. You're gonna learn so much about me today. So I was finishing school and I had a bunch of credits to kill, and I didn't really know how I was gonna like wrap them up. I didn't want to take anything that I wasn't interested in. I didn't want to take anything that was gonna be like really, really challenging. And I'm like, I've always kind of been interested in education. Um, I was volunteering my Friday nights. Every Friday night, I worked at a domestic abuse shelter in Philadelphia, and I would work with the kids. So like I would go there and I would give the moms like 4 hours on Friday to like get ready for the weekend, do what they needed to do. And sometimes there were babies there, sometimes there were little kids there, and I would like get their homework done with them so their moms didn't have to like stress about that while they were, trying to do what they needed to do over the weekend. They could like just relax and enjoy being with their kids. So I was like, well, that was kind of fun and that's kind of like teaching. So like maybe I'll just take like an education class. So I popped in an education class and it was like a placement. So I started teaching in West Philadelphia at Overbrook Elementary, because they were like, oh, well, we have these Montessori schools and we have these like placements on the main line. And I was like, no, what do you have in like Philly? And the more struggling the school, like the better. I want to be Title I. Like I want to see what it's like on the other side, because growing up, I was in public schools, but they were mostly strong public schools. When I was in private school for 2 years in high school, it was like a Catholic school. Like I've always had a very well supported education. So I kind of wanted to see what it looked like for everybody. So I was there and I was like, damn it, I like teaching. I was in a kindergarten and a third grade classroom. And I was like, this isn't like my fit, but I like this. So I graduated and I signed up to teach in Africa. And I taught in Uganda for one of their semesters. And I was like, I actually like teaching. So I came home and I was like, what is the closest thing that I can get to these two experiences that I've had that are kind of central around like where my family is? And my parents were in the process of moving from Michigan to Boston, and I wasn't going to go home to Michigan. And I didn't know anybody in Boston, but my mom's family was here in Baltimore. So I
Right.
said, well, Baltimore is a city without being like something that I'm not totally, unfamiliar with. So I joined what's called BCTR. It's the Baltimore City Teaching Residency. So even though I wasn't a certified teacher, I was still in the classroom and I was like taking these crazy classes and doing these crazy license hours and all of this. Like, I think I think you would have still seen like there were people coming in the classroom all the time. And I told you that they were like there to see you, but they were actually there to see me.
You guys just lie to us all the time.
Just straight up lied to you. They're not there to see you. They don't care about you. They're there for me.
Yeah.
So that's how I ended up in Baltimore City. And that was in 2007. And I've been in city school since.
That's nuts because like it's just such a rough place. Like I wouldn't even volunteer to do that. And I'm
Well, I
from
mean, I didn't volunteer at Ashby. They paid
well,
me.
well, you know what I mean. You could have
I
like
know.
moved and like it's a really
Yeah.
respectful thing to do because I looking back, like if I had the choice, I would have moved out of Baltimore.
I mean, I can't think of
Never.
anywhere else I would rather teach. Like, if it was in Baltimore, I don't think I would be a teacher.
So you had you had a lot of what got you through the hard times because I know you went through a lot of those like younger.
Like with kids in the class, like
Yeah, just them struggling, them frustrating you, but then like a lot of kids, and then moving forward, a lot of kids like leaving this earth, you know?
yeah. I mean, well, when you guys were in the classroom, you thought you were big and bad, but like, I
Yeah.
mean, how big and bad are sixth graders really? Eighth graders are a little bit bigger and a little bit badder, but you also like, so this is how I look at middle school. Sixth graders are like babies. Like they just come in and they're like, you can make them, they cry really easily. Like they're feeling all their feelings still. Like they're like half babies still.
I never cried.
Seventh graders are wild animals. Like they are just feral and angry and like unable to regulate themselves and like nothing is important and everything is important. But eighth grade is like the money spot because they're old enough where they're like getting ready to go to high school and they're all a little bit anxious about going to high school. And they're like, I don't know if like I'm going to be able to do this. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this well. I'm going to miss my friends. I'm going to miss my teachers. And like eighth grades, like you kind of realize what you had. So all year, like y'all are really chill. And you come back and you're like, where's Miss Kuhlman? Like you have graduation, like eighth grade is amazing. And then I like sixth grade and I would rather light myself on fire than teach seventh grade.
Oh man.
Yeah, I mean, just it's hard to help people regulate emotions that they're having because you think everything that you're going through is like the biggest thing in the world. And
Yeah.
like so many times they wanted to be like, you're not even gonna remember this moment. Like I am gonna be sitting like at a bar in Canton with you, and I'm gonna remind you. Not, I mean, no one in particular, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna remind you of this moment, and you're gonna be like, no, I didn't. I'm gonna be like, you absolutely did. Do you
What
shots fired? Do you feel targeted?
yeah. What's one moment you remember about me being emotional?
Like you were actually pretty like flat in your affect. Like I always felt like, is Ashby gonna like, is he gonna like explode about something? Like, is he, because you were always like very calm and like you were like the level headed. I remember you talking people down a lot when they would get really agitated. Like, I was like, either this is the most positive, well adjusted child ever, or he's just like stuffing all of his feelings inside of himself. And one day he's going to have a massive explosion. And you never had a massive explosion. So, Ashby, Are you just well adjusted?
It was weird because I grew up with all those kids who came with me, but like we were like I was across the street from them. But Baltimore, the way it works is like you can be in like a medium neighborhood, but then like the hood's right there. That's where they were. I wasn't there, and like they just. So I grew up. We all grew up together, and then they took their own path, and I'm sitting here. I'm this innocent little chubby kid, but I'm friends with a crip.
You were so
like
cute. You
it
were
was
so cute.
like some of these dudes were involved in gangs at
Hmm.
the age, and I knew, but they protected me. Like one time, I remember I wore a red shirt walking up to O'Donnell Heights, and they took it off of me and put something else on me.
Yep.
It's a crazy experience. Like looking back, seeing like the people I was surrounded with is just crazy.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, just the way I've changed. I mean, I'm in Western Pennsylvania now. That's a
That's
complete
a very
180.
different environment than being in Baltimore and where you grew up. And I think it says a lot about you that you're able to fit in both places.
Yeah, at first it was kind of hard, but I think I adjusted pretty quickly. You can't be so judgmental. I can see how someone from the city can come to the country and just be judgmental because of a lot of different reasons. But I know this, you just keep to yourself. I'm just myself. I'm still the same person, I think,
Yeah,
for
I
the
think
most
so.
part. But it's
You
just
were you were a little cutie. You were definitely like we knew you were not doing anything. Plus your dad was not playing games with you.
yeah.
Like your dad, like literally, like I know. So let me tell all your friends. Ashby asked me if I ever wanted to hit him when he was in like sixth grade. I think it was sixth grade. I don't think this was eighth grade. I think this was sixth grade. And I was like, Ashby, I'm literally not allowed to hit you. Like, so it doesn't matter how I feel. I can't hit you. And Ashby goes, what if I bring you a note from my dad that says you can hit me? If I do that, can I call you Caroline? And
I
I
always
was
wanted to
like,
play
yeah,
that.
Ashby, get me a note from your dad that says that I am allowed to assault you in school and you can call me Caroline and then I'll assault you. Like that's a solid plan. Let's work through that. And literally, I don't even think Ashby would have had to ask his dad for a note. I think I could have called your dad and been like, hi, Ashby's having a rough day. You want to come up and get him or you just want me to like
Yeah.
knock him around a little bit? And your dad would have been like, do what you got to do, Miss Kuhlman.
He wouldn't have gave a shit.
I love your dad.
Yeah, I don't talk to my parents much anymore. I mean, I just FaceTime them and they kind of guilted me into I think I'm gonna come back to Baltimore pretty soon.
You should.
But
Family is important and you never know.
I've like isolated my life from Baltimore for a little bit. I've realized over the years how it was bad, that how like I'm doing it for good reasons, but you can't just burn all your bridges.
Right.
I
Especially with your family because your
Yeah.
family is not that.
Yeah, and I just sort of just like been keeping to myself. I don't know. I'm I did you don't explode here, but I left school. I didn't finish.
Actually, you were like
Now,
5 minutes from being done.
now you see, here's what I realized. Let me explain to you. I went to college to get out of Baltimore. That's it, not for
Mhm.
education. And now college, I wrestled in college. I had all my experiences. I partied. It gave me what I wanted, that experience. So I don't know. I feel
What
like
you want and what you need are different, though. Ashby, how are you going to dump that much money just down the drain? How many credits are you from being done?
I don't know. But you see, the way I see it,
Ashby, how many credits are you from being done?
I don't know. Probably like a semester or two.
Ashby.
No, probably 2 semesters because I changed my major late. But I don't think college is as important as people think it is.
I mean,
What do you
I
think?
don't either, but if you are like halfway in the bathtub, you should just go ahead and sit down because you already paid all that money and did all that work.
Yeah, I think about that sometimes.
But like it wouldn't be that hard, even if it was a year, even if it was 2 semesters, to knock that out like a couple classes at a time. But do it before you have kids, because once you have kids, it's all over.
I want kids, so not right now, but like I love kids. That's my point. I've already told you this.
Yeah, everybody loves kids until they're yours.
What age did you have kids?
I had Keely Oh God, now you're asking me to math. So Keely is going to be 7 in May, and I'm going to be 36, 7, 30. I've been lying about my age for a very long time, so I can't even math it. I was born in 84. That means I'll be 30. I don't want to talk about it.
You're still so young though. Like it's crazy.
It
Like
goes so fast, Ashby. It really does.
no, you're like kind of in your prime.
I like to think so. I mean, look at this glowing hair and smooth forehead. What do you
Honestly, you are. I
think?
think like I'm not. I don't feel like I'm even close to my prime. I feel younger every year.
I had Keely when I was like when I turned 30. So I was pregnant when I was 29. I had her when I was 30, and then I had Kennedy right after her, like 20 months later.
Right.
So I was like early 30s when I had my kids.
That's kind of the perfect time. Would you say that's the perfect time or
Yes, because I like did all the traveling that I wanted to do. I did all of the drinking that I wanted to do and the partying that I wanted to do. And like I was married for a few years, like I was married for like 5 years before I had the kids. So like Kevin and I were really solid. We had like traveled and been places and done things. And then, when we had a screaming baby at like 4 o'clock in the morning, we both had a place with like a happy place where we could go to be like, remember that time when we were in Vegas? We're not in Vegas.
wait, Miss
Remember when we went to Rome and had that pizza? I wish we were there right now. Like we had like a solid relationship of just us without kids before we had kids. I think a lot of people like get married in their 20s and then they're like, okay, well, the next thing is to have kids. And then you like didn't do the things that you wanted to do.
Miss Kuhlman drank and partied? No way.
Ashby, I've had drinks with
No
you.
way.
Like, stop lying to
I can't
people.
believe this.
What?
I can't believe. Well, when you're younger, like you can't see. You think your teachers just go home and like watch TV and go to sleep.
Oh, totally.
That's what we
Totally.
thought. Little did we know you guys were out partying
And teachers party together.
while we're being innocent kids, just learning.
Yeah, literally, like when I have like a really bad day at work, I would like go out with like Wilfong and Chamberlain and Corrigan, and we would just like I remember like I had a really bad day, like justifiably bad. Like I had to call Child Protective Services for a kid, and it was a really bad day. And like objectively bad, not like, oh, the kids were whatever. Like it was
Yeah.
a terrible day. Like a kid told me something, I had to call. It was bad. So I just like texted Sarah because remember Sarah Wolfong taught pre-K, and I was like, dude, we got to go to the bar. Like I can't go home after work. Like we have to go. And we went down to Nacho Mama's in Canton. No, we went to Cosmos. There was Cosmos, but it's closed now. It was a place that had like all these different specialty cosmopolitans. Ashby, we had to call Kevin to come pick us up because we went after school at like 3 and we were just there and like we didn't eat dinner. We drank our dinner and then we were like, and now we can't get home. Yay. Like
What
Kevin
a
had to come pick
life.
us up.
I would have loved to be your coworker back then.
I mean, that's the cool thing about teaching in Baltimore City is like because you're all going through the same kind of experiences and like we're not supposed to talk about a lot of the things that happen. And in Baltimore, more serious things are happening to kids than in other places. Like you don't have like a community that you feel like you can confide in unless you build it for yourself out of the people who are also tied to the same confidentiality. So it was cool to be able to like have that and not go home and like take all of that home all of the time.
I'm just imagining how hard it was for you. Like someone who grew up there is just normal for them, but then like
Right.
someone who goes there, I just feel so bad for them.
Well, I feel bad for the kids like that don't have the educational experiences that I had. And I think that's what's kept me in Baltimore for so long because I am that opportunity for them to have access to the things that I had because I know I'm a good teacher. I'm a great teacher. Like I'm not even going to front. Like I'm a great teacher. I'm very good at what I do. I'm like I got model teacher like a couple of years in. Like I'm very well compensated for teaching. Like I'm very good at my job and I won't go anywhere else because I'm very well compensated for my job. But because of the education and the strong background that I have, I've been able to bring those advantages and that networking stuff to kids and teach them test taking strategies that a lot of kids pay crazy money for.
I noticed last time I was there, I was driving around, and they're like uh boarding up O'Donnell Heights now. You
Yeah,
know,
well, the school's gone, right?
is it?
Yeah, they totally, I think, yeah, they have the other building, like they're teaching from the other building. So you remember like the kickball field and everything in the
Yeah.
back. So they like cleared that out. They built the building over there and then they knocked the old building down and like just moved all the teacher stuff over.
Wow. How
Yeah.
what so O'Donnell Heights, they're boarding it up, right? I don't know how I feel about it, but do you see that as a good thing or a bad thing? Because I remember when I was in school, there'd be stuff going on outside that shouldn't be going on. I remember one time there was a shootout out there between a gang and cops. So I mean, but then they're also moving out families. So what do you think about that?
So I know like when I first came to Graceland, I don't know if you remember this, but like, so the Heights is on like the right side of the street, right across from the graveyard. Then there's like a big open field on the left side of the street. That used to all be public housing as well. So it was like twice as big. And I think when they eliminated that large section of housing and then divided the kids between Hollibird and Graceland Park, that they did a really good job at strategically moving families and dividing families so that there was less conflict in the Heights in that way. I don't know if it was necessarily good or bad because people were still moved to different places. And I don't think being poor is a crime.
Right.
So it's like, I think that, being poor often leads to crime out of necessity. And I think that a lot of people that live in the Heights are just good people who just didn't have advantages. I know that there are other people who live there as well, though.
Yeah, I went up there and it kind of like, I was like, wow, I have so many memories here. And then seeing it get torn down, you don't know how to feel about it because you also know the bad things that went down.
Do you remember the fish pond?
Yeah.
Okay, so remember the naked baby that was on top of the fish?
Yeah.
They took that naked baby statue and moved it into the new building
No
because the
way.
teachers were like, we're not leaving without the fish baby.
Right. I I got in trouble for doing something with it. What was
You put a
leaving
hat
it?
on it.
No, I did something to the pond and I got in trouble.
I thought you put a hat on the fish baby.
I don't know. I remember I got in trouble for messing with the pond or something.
You did something. I
I
thought
used to
I
do the
thought you were the one that
small.
put the hat on the fish baby.
I
It
was the one.
wasn't anything like like you didn't kill the fish or anything. It wasn't like
Yeah,
super
yeah.
destructive.
I was the one who did like the small stupid things that annoyed
But
you.
and got caught every single time you did something.
Yeah.
Like literally everything you did wrong, you got caught for.
It'd be my friends like daring me to do things, and you can't say no to that.
Yes, you can.
It's okay. You can fall for peer pressure. If you kids are watching this, peer pressure is fine. It teaches you things. You learn.
It
You
gets
learn
you
through
caught while the other dummies don't.
it. Yeah. I used to fall for peer pressure so easily because I just wanted to kind of be like them, kind of not be like them. I
Right.
knew
Well,
what
those are
was
small, like that's small risk stuff.
yeah, I knew what was right and wrong for the most part, but then I was like, you know what, Miss Coleman's just gonna yell at me for this. I'll do it, whatever.
Okay, here you go.
Oh.
Sorry, my 5-year-old needs chapstick because her lips are dry. Do you want to come say hi to Ashby?
Bring her in here.
Come over here. Mommy used to teach Ashby when he was a little tiny boy. This is
Hi.
Kennedy. She's 5.
Hey, Kennedy.
You say hi. Am I a good mommy? Thanks for that plug. All right, go to bed. Love you. Close mommy's door, please. Thanks, big girl.
All right, so top 3 favorite students, go.
Ashby Diaz, Ashby Diaz, Ashby Diaz.
Oh, you lie. You still lying to me to this
100% I'm lying. I don't know. I have kids that were like my favorite when I was teaching them because they like touched me in some way or like made me feel like I was really making a difference for them, or they were like the kid that would like always bail me out for like an observation. I was like, you're my guy. And then I had kids that like I didn't think that I was very important to them, but they turn 21 and they're like, can you meet me at the bar for a drink?
Who was that?
That was you.
But you
Because
didn't
I was
think
like, I didn't really think that I was like your favorite teacher or like important to you. Like you were just like quiet and I could tell that you didn't love my class, but you were like good because you were good and like whatever. So like when you were in my class, you were like, I always remembered you. I always remember kids, but like I never thought like if you'd asked me like pick a kid out of this room that's gonna call you when just like on a snow day or when they're 21 and just like check in, I never would have said your name ever.
Well, I did kind of make a switch in personalities throughout. So I go to high school and I found wrestling the sport. That's really what changed me as a person. I go through I didn't drink all throughout high school. The first time I drank was the
I
day
didn't either.
yeah, the day before my high school graduation was the first time I drank. And I got
Mm-hmm.
really drunk. And then so
Nice timing there, Ashby.
yeah, I know. And I go to college and I'm just reckless for the first 2 years. I think that's really what created a different personality. And I turned 21. I just randomly was like, what's the best way that I want to catch up with a teacher? Grab a beer. And I was like,
Right.
you're, you're the only teacher I messaged.
Really? That's so funny.
You're the only like really rememberable one. Like because in high school I got close to my teacher, so I kind of forgot about you guys. And then I thought back because you're so active on social media. I feel like that's why.
I am. I
That's an
am.
advantage, especially.
Well, I have a couple social medias. Like I have like a kid friendly one and then I have like another one because I have feelings about politics
I know.
and that doesn't always jive with like how people are comfortable with teachers. Like people don't want to see teachers as people.
Right. Yeah.
So I have like a teacher Facebook and I keep all of my kids on there until they're 18. And then once they graduate or turn 18, then they can come over to my real Facebook page.
Yeah. I mean, I don't do politics, but coming from the city to the country, you see how different it is, especially nowadays politically. But back then, when I first came, what was it, 2015? It wasn't as political then. Not everything just became political over the past 2 years, but such huge differences in the mindset of people.
Yeah.
Have you been to the country? And like got to know
Yeah.
people?
Yeah.
It's so different, and they have no idea how each other lives, but they both judge each other. Like it's the country judges people from the city, and then the city judges people from the country. Because when I was in the city, I hated people from the country, and I don't know why.
Really?
Yeah, it's just a thing that you just don't like them, and now I'm here and I like both. They're actually kind of everybody's nice up here. Like in Baltimore, everyone's not nice. The reality of it is, and here, like, it's really low crime. It's just like ideal for me.
It's
But
good to find somewhere that makes you happy.
yeah, I got a lot of respect for you though for staying there, especially at your age. Like you could choose to move right now if you wanted to.
What
I
do you
meant
mean
you're grown up.
at my
No,
age?
like you're grown up. That's what I meant.
Oh, okay. Like an adult, I could leave. Nobody's keeping me here.
Yeah, that no one's forcing you to stay.
Nobody's forcing me to stay. No, I mean, I'll never leave Baltimore City. And everyone's like, well, maybe one day you'll be a principal. There's no way. Like I make more than principals do. So I'm not
You
ever.
earned it.
Huh?
You earned it.
I literally do, but it's crazy because like there are so many places where teachers make like barely livable wages and like have to work multiple jobs.
Yeah.
And like as much as people like will say crazy stuff about Baltimore City, like Baltimore City teachers are very well paid. Often not well paid enough to like keep people around for a long time, but like if you can get into a program, like you can make really good money.
Yeah, I mean, rightfully so because you're teaching in Baltimore. I mean, you're going through a lot with these kids.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine.
And I think when you sign up, you think it's for something else. And like as you all are getting older and becoming adults, it's becoming harder for me. And I think I question more if this is where I'm supposed to be now that you guys are adults and you're making your own decisions. And like that has become hard for me because I'm not just like, I have not been a teacher in my career where kids leave my classroom and then I never see them again. Like a lot of teachers complain that they don't see kids again. They never know what happens to them, but that's not true for me. I like because of social media and because of the relationships that I have with kids, I do know what happens to them. And sometimes I wish I didn't.
Yeah, because I mean, I now anybody I knew before high school, I don't talk to a single person other than family. Like me and Damien kept in touch, but then we got into kind of a conflict, and now we don't talk,
Right.
which sucks. But it happens.
Well, I mean, people grow apart and I don't know anyone from middle school. I don't know anyone that I went to two middle schools and I don't know anybody from any of them. I don't even really remember middle school, like at all.
Actually, I still follow Roland on social media, and I have messaged.
Fleming,
Yeah, we were best friends kindergarten through eighth grade.
you did. You guys were like, you were two peas in
We knew each
a
other.
very dysfunctional pod.
Yeah, we were different, but we knew each other since kindergarten. So it's like we knew each other. Like we were
And you
just
were like
friends.
good compliments because he was like a big loud goofball and you were like quietly funny, but you
Yeah,
could like get him to like chill a little bit, but you were
yeah,
both like really laid back and it was yeah.
and
You were an interesting pair.
yeah. We're still now like we're completely different. But next time I'm in Baltimore, I'm gonna go buy him a beer or something.
You should. You should.
And then who else? I tell you a story about Stefan, how he just randomly showed up at my high school.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I heard about you told me about Stefan. Who else did you hang out with? What girls were in your class?
I don't know. We didn't really care about the girls.
Isn't that funny
We were
though?
like
Like
our own clique.
that's how baby you were when I had you. You really did not, you were really not worried about girls like that.
Roland was the one who was catching crushes, but we were all like, we just want to hang out. Like, we were like, girls, get away from us. You're not cool.
So funny.
Yeah, Quan, I messaged him. Blackburn.
Blackburn, yeah, yeah. And
He said
Jewel, his twin. So that was a girl that was in
I
my
haven't
grade.
talked to her. Yeah, but I messaged him like last year. And he said he's in a different. He think he's in Colorado.
He's moved around. I talked to Quan. He was in Pennsylvania for a while.
Really? Oh,
And then I think he's back in Baltimore recently. I saw him at Diamante's funeral.
yeah. I couldn't go. I mean, I could, but like I couldn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't like funerals.
Yeah, and same. And it's very weird to try to navigate because there's like no book on how to interact with students who are now adults because like it's not weird for us to talk to each other or text each other, but it always feels a little weird for me
Yeah.
because like I'm a teacher, but I'm not your teacher anymore. And you're an adult who can make decisions with how you want to spend your time. But like that never was so clear for me as when I was at Diamante's funeral because I was a train wreck. Like I was just training. I was not even pretending I was okay. And there were like other teachers there and but I've been at Graceland Park for so long. Like a lot of those teachers weren't there when like the first round of kids like you came through because there's a pretty high turnover in education, right? So I was just like, I was just an inconsolable wreck as like they were putting the coffin in the ground. And Quan just like, I like turned around because I was like, I can't do this. And Quan just like came over and like hugged me. And he hugged me for like probably like 5 or 10 minutes, like a time that like was like not a normal hug. And I was incredibly aware of the other teachers being like, who is that grown man that is clearly not Caroline's husband, but she clearly knows him and he clearly knows her. And she is like hugging and like being consoled by him because when you were in middle school, like you guys were the ones crying. And I was like, I promise you it's going to
Yeah.
be okay. And it's not a big thing. So then to be at a funeral for one of his classmates and like have one of you consoling me was like,
Yeah.
holy shit. Like, where are we with all of this? Like, I don't.
And his Diamante's story is like a story out of a movie, the way it happened.
Yeah.
Wasn't he getting ready to go to college?
Diaz.
I
Okay,
know.
this is really hard for me to talk about, so I'm probably gonna cry. I think I've already cried to you about this.
You don't have to talk if you don't want to,
No,
but
I think it's good to talk about him, and I think it's important to say his name and like
yeah,
what
yeah,
his story was. And Tamika is like really big about like having his memory exist. And like I know I like so Diamante I had in sixth and eighth grade. I think he was right behind you or right in front of
he
you.
was a year younger than me.
Okay. So he like graduated from high school. He was like went down to Atlanta and he was living with his aunt and he was in a movie. Did you know that? He was in The Life of Henrietta Lacks. He got like picked as an extra. So he was like in this movie and he ended up coming back to Baltimore like for his younger sister's eighth grade graduation. Was it eighth grade or was it high school? I don't know the number that I remember kids, but I don't remember like years that you guys were in order. Like I can remember who's in front and who's in back, but I can't remember like how far apart you all are because it seems like one big long year. Um, but he was like making applications to go to college. He had actually gotten an acceptance and his mom's birthday was like coming up that week. So he like hid it under his pillow for her. And like he was killed before he ever got a chance to like give her his acceptance letter.
Yeah, that story is important because that's like the reality of Baltimore, and people like to judge those kids. If they just found out some kid got shot, they'd probably judge him. They'd probably say he was a gang member or something. And
Right. Right. And like
I feel that.
Diamante's story, like we don't know what happened. And to me, it doesn't really like matter what happened or why it happened because it happened. And it doesn't make him any less of a person
Right.
or any less deserving of future than anybody else. Like how many times I can't even, I could sit here and tell you an hour of stupid things that I did when I was his age and nobody ever shot me for it.
Yeah.
And I mean, so much of it is just like the hand that we're dealt and where we end up. And some of us get lucky and some of us don't.
Yeah, and when you're raised there, you kind of just want to get out. At least when you're in my position, seeing it from the outside, because I was never in it. You
Right.
can't. I mean, I was from Baltimore, but I'm not from the hood. I'm never.
Right.
People think a lot of people up here like to lie and say how they're from the, but I'm like, that's not cool. It's not a cool thing to be from the hood because it sucks.
Right. And
Yeah,
it's a struggle that like like you're appropriating from someone else. Like you don't know what it's like to do that.
from the outside in, they think it looks cool, but then from the inside out, that's the
Right.
reality.
Yeah.
But that's why I have so much respect for you, and that's why I called you back.
That's I think that's the hardest thing about being a teacher is like you all getting older and me not having like some kind of manual. Like I'm sure that some people think it's totally inappropriate that we go to the bar together.
Whatever.
And I have this weird need to tell every single bartender that I taught you when you were in sixth grade.
Yeah.
They're like, this is weird.
We'll do it again.
We will once the pandemonium's over,
Oh,
the panorama,
I forgot there's a pandemic.
the penguin.
People in the country have a certain opinions about the pandemic.
Yeah, y'all the
Yeah.
reason we can't get out of this panorama.
Don't say y'all. I wear my mask when I have to, but
I know that's right, Ashby. I know that's right.
oh, you see, they just they're like up here. They don't want any rules. I think it's kind of the same with the city and the country. It's just different. They both don't want any rules, but then like the country is more like, and no one wants to be controlled. But like
Right.
I can't explain the opinions. Like I know both sides, but it's just so weird how they both have so much in common, but then they think they're so different.
Right. Right. I mean, because well, we're all people at the end of the day. And when you form relationships with people, you see them as people.
Yeah.
But being that the city and the country are so far apart, people don't have time to form those relationships. So it's really easy to like other people and say, oh, well, that doesn't really affect me. So that's not my problem. And if only X, Y, and Z, then he wouldn't have been in that position. It's easy to say when you don't know someone who is in that position.
hmm Yeah, and a lot of people look at my up here. A lot of people look at my opinions as weird because I'm kind of talking from both sides. So
Right.
and then I don't do politics at all. So
I hate when you say that. Everybody does politics,
I don't
Ashby.
do politics.
You can
That's
say
why
that.
all I'm saying is that if someone doesn't know my name, I don't care about them.
A lot of
That's
people
just,
don't know your
if,
name.
if,
That doesn't
if
mean you can't make an impact for them, Ashby.
I don't know. I just don't think politicians give a shit about me.
Oh, that's absolutely true. They don't.
So then it's like,
Well, you don't have to care about politicians, but you need to care about politics and laws that are passed and things that are happen.
I pay attention to them.
You vote, yes.
I'll say yes. I won't say
I
yes. No.
texted you and
Well,
asked you if you voted.
yeah,
Did you
yeah.
lie to me?
No, yeah, I voted, but I don't talk about it too much.
Well, that's fine. I'm not asking you who you voted for, Ashby. I'm not totally inappropriate. I'm just saying, as long as you don't have to tell everyone what you're doing, but as long as you're doing something.
Yeah. No, yeah. I don't take a side, but I like hearing both sides. I love hearing the argument from both sides, but not really.
I love crushing the argument on the other side.
I sometimes I read through the comments.
You're like, wow, that's a lot of comments. She must be fired up today.
I know you go off.
I do. That's why I don't like kids on my Facebook page until they're 18. Right there.
Did I ever try to call you in high school? When I was
No, you like vanished. You graduated and you vanished. That's why I was surprised when I think you reached out right before you graduated.
Yeah, I tend to vanish a lot. That's kind of my thing. It's
Well, I mean, not most people don't come back to their middle school teachers. So it's not something that like I ever expected would
yeah.
happen. So it's always nice when it does. And then, once a couple people do it and they like hear, they're like, oh, you hang out with Miss Kuhlman? Cool. I'm gonna text her and we'll go get coffee.
I kind of started the trend. I'm a trendsetter.
I don't think you started the trend.
The trend of getting beers with your middle school teacher.
Okay, no, there's like literally a handful of former students that I've had a drink with. Like very few. Like you, Tyron Johnson. Maybe just you two. Tyreek wasn't old enough to drink. I went to dinner with him. Yeah, I think you're the only two that I had like drinks with.
Okay, so nice to know I'm your favorite. That's all you have to say.
That's it. Thank you. Interview's over.
Without saying it, you said it. So, I mean, are you gonna have your daughters in the Baltimore City public schools?
So my daughters go to Hamilton where I teach.
That city, right?
Yes. Yeah. So I was at Graceland Park and then I went out on maternity leave, but I came back for half of a year. And no, I came back for a full year. And then I was pregnant again because they were 20 months apart. So I went out on maternity leave the second time in January. And then the district has a child care leave policy where you don't get paid, but they'll hold your job for you and your salary for you for up to 3 years. So I was out of the district and like just a stay-at-home mom for 3 years. And then last year I went back to Commodore and it wasn't a really good fit for me. So I went to Hamilton the year after that. And I've been at Hamilton virtual all this year and I really like it. It's been going really well. But my youngest was 3. So when I was at Commodore, they were going to a bilingual school. Archbishop Borders that was like right down the street.
Right.
So my youngest was like full day immersion Spanish and was like totally fluent in Spanish. And my oldest was in kindergarten and she was like half day Spanish, half day English. But when the pandemic hit, I was like, I'm not going to continue to pay tuition and they're just going to come to school with me. So they've both been at my school this year and they're really, really enjoying it.
All right. So the important part, what sports do they play?
Was what?
What sports do they play?
Oh, they're both avid wrestlers, Ashby. They can't wait for you to start their training. No, like I mean, it's a penguin outside right now. So like they're not playing any sports. We're hoping in the spring that they'll be able to do something, but we're like, okay, well, what can they do that's like no contact, that's outside? Because
Okay.
like when you're a parent, you're trying to keep your kids safe, but you also like don't want them to get weird.
Mhm.
So we were thinking like we live in White Marsh, like north of the city, and there's like a lot of like Harford County, Baltimore County farms, and we're like, well, maybe we'll put them in like horseback riding for a year because like what little kid doesn't like a horse? Like,
Yeah.
I don't think it's a sport, but like I don't want them like inside doing gymnastics or dance class
Have
or
you
like
have you watched Athlete A, the documentary?
no,
Watch it.
Is it good?
It's about the USA gymnastics team and it being corrupt.
Oh, okay, okay, yeah, I'll check it
Just that
out.
like the someone ended up getting 120-year sentence at the end of the
Oh,
video.
yeah. Like I know about the news of all of that,
Larry,
but I haven't seen the documentary or the
yeah, Larry,
docuseries or
about
whatever.
Larry Nassar. And then recently, their head coach got accused of assault and then he killed himself.
Yeah,
Like
he committed
last week.
suicide.
That sucks because there's no justice now. That
Yep.
made me really mad. That made me so mad.
Yep.
It was like, all right, now what you have to do is fire everyone and start over. I mean, think about it. I mean, you don't know
I
what's going
agree.
on now. I
I
want to.
agree. It's crazy.
If I wasn't poor, I'd buy the team and just hire new people. I can't.
Right. It's absolutely wild. But yeah, like we're into sports over here, but we're just not doing anything right now. Keely used to do soccer.
Soccer
They
is a
both did
great
soccer.
sport, especially
Huh?
for women. Soccer for women, because
Yeah.
like in the U.S., women's soccer is the only sport that really trumps over the men's team. You know, women's
Right.
and they really trump over them, and I think it's they have a lot of people to look up to. I think
Yeah,
you know like
totally.
I would never if I had a daughter, I would never put her in basketball because of the way people treat women basketball players.
Yeah,
So
it's
like I
pretty
would put her
crappy.
somewhere where she has like people to look up to, like the USA women's soccer team.
Right.
Awesome sport.
Yeah.
Or wrestling too.
They did like after school soccer and they really liked it. But I mean, when they were like 3 and 5 at the time, it was just like running around. That's all
No,
they
that's
were doing.
okay. Eventually, I'm so passionate about kids playing sports, and I want them all
Yeah,
to
it's
play sports.
it's good on a lot of different levels, team building. And so we'll find something to get us through. I was a swimmer. So Keely's really, she likes to swim. We belong to a pool over the summer because you can like stay away from people.
Mhm.
People like usually don't come in your space when you're swimming. So
Yeah, I don't know how to swim.
really,
Yeah, never learned. Blame my
really,
parents. I
how
like to blame my
about
parents,
that?
but huh?
How about that?
Well,
Did
when
you ever
I
swim up at the PAL?
no, well, we like kind of took classes, but then like I never learned. I don't know. I kind of learned, and then my parents took me out of it, and then I just wish I started wrestling at a younger age. I would have been such a completely different person.
I mean, not necessarily. You don't
I think
know.
I think I would have. I wish I started playing sports earlier, and that's one grudge I held against my parents kind of for a while. When I grew up and played sports in college, I got so pissed off at them. I was like, why didn't I start earlier? But
Oh,
now I'm at a point where I don't give a shit about my past. You know what I mean? Like in a good way.
how could that be in a good way? Rephrase.
Like about what I did in the past. I don't care about.
Oh, I thought you said the past. I thought you said your parents. And I was
No.
like, no, not true. I am not gonna stand here
Oh
and
no,
let you
no.
malign your incredible family.
Oh gosh.
Your mom is like the sweetest lady ever,
She is. She
literally.
yeah. No, she's still awesome. She misses me a lot.
I bet you should go home and see them.
I will. I
Good.
think next week I might be home.
Do it.
We shall
Do
see.
it. Send me a selfie with your dad.
I do. I think
I'll be like, can I still hit him? Can I hit him now?
yeah, you can still hit me. I won't fight back. So what's in the near future for Miss Kuhlman?
I mean, I think I'm probably gonna be at the same school next year. I'm just, we're all just trying to survive. I miss traveling so much. I love traveling. So, like the fact that we've just been like stuck has been really hard for me because I like to like plan trips and think about what we're doing and
Yeah.
I miss that a lot. So I'm ready to get back and doing that. But like we're done with like the big life milestones. We're not having any more babies over here. Like I'm not doing any career change. I'm toying with the idea of going back to school and getting a higher degree, but like I just want to teach. So I don't know. I don't want to be a principal because it's working more months for less money. No, thank you.
Yeah.
Not going to do that. And I like what I'm doing and I like working with kids and I don't really like adults.
Luckily, I'm not an adult.
Like literally, no, you're not. Literally the worst part of my day is like when I have to interact with adults, like on Wednesdays, we have half days and like the kids are in the morning and then we have like meetings and stuff in the afternoon. And it's the worst part of my week because adults are terrible.
They're the worst, aren't they?
They're the worst. Like this is 100% why I teach middle school. And I've like thought about going up to high school, but I really like eighth graders. Like eighth grade is where it's at. I just don't think I'd like ninth graders don't seem chill.
Yeah. I was an emotional ninth grader.
Yeah, a lot of people are. I taught ninth grade summer school my first year in Baltimore City. Like they have you like paired with the student, like you're like the student teacher with another teacher. And I did high school and I didn't get invited to that many parties when I was actually in high school myself.
Uh-huh.
I was like, I'm the teacher. They're like, we know you can buy us beer. I'm like, literally can't do that. First of all, won't do that.
Oh,
Second of all, like, third, no, I don't want to come to
they
party.
were inviting you to parties.
They were. And I mean, I was literally 21. Like, I could barely buy beer myself.
Yeah.
Like, no, I don't want to come to your party. And I had a pregnant girl my first year, like in that summer school. And I was just like, these are big people problems. And I don't think I'm equipped to deal with big people problems. Like I am barely big people myself. No, I don't think I can do high school. Like, I don't know what to tell this girl. She's about to have a baby and I've never had a baby. I don't know what to tell her.
You can't give her advice.
I got nothing for her. Like all I was like was, Jesus, please don't let this child's water break in my classroom because I don't know nothing about birth and no babies. Like I can't,
Yeah.
can't do that. So eighth grade is the spot.
Good. I'm glad you're happy. I'm really.
I am too.
All right. Well, thank you for being on the podcast. I appreciate it.
Of course. Next time, give me a heads up before I start talking about my Botox.
We started off pretty strong.
I told you I was going to do it, though. I told you I was going to do it.
Yeah, I
You
forgot.
were like, no, don't do it. You're going to look weird. I don't look weird. The first thing you said to me was how young I looked.
I know.
Botox.
You look like you're in your mid-20s. Like,
I know, right? Botox. Botox and a Peloton. Because
you did like the Miss America. Were you Miss America?
was I Miss America? No.
Miss Maryland.
I competed for Miss Maryland and got my butt kicked. I was Miss Burtonsville 2008.
Ooh.
I know, right? And then I was America's Miss Maryland, which was like a smaller offshoot pageant in like 2010, I think. And then I was America's Miss 2011. But like that was like a small pageant. It was not super competitive. Like it's not the same thing. We can do a podcast about pageants one day, Ashby, and I will show you all of my pageants and all of my gowns. And I have like for real crowns, Ashby. I'm a very big deal. I have 5,000 followers on TikTok.
Wait, hold on. Give me your TikTok before we get off.
It's at Miss Kuhlman, I think. No dots, just Miss Kuhlman. Let me double check.
It's MS.
MS, yeah. I never went Mrs. I don't know why, and I didn't like change my name.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
at Miss Kuhlman.
Yeah, I see it. Why do so many people follow you?
Because I'm engaging.
And you use your modeling picture, I see.
That's not my modeling picture. I never did modeling. I was not skinny enough to do that. That's my pageant headshot. My pageant headshot from like 2010.
I'm gonna look through your TikToks.
I'm hilarious. A lot of them, like most of them are teaching stuff.
Yeah.
And then like
Yeah,
a bunch of them are political.
I imagine most students would teach us stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, most of them are teacher stuff, but not all of them.
Yeah. I'll check them out eventually. I'm still not the biggest fan of TikTok, but I have it just to keep up.
I literally got it during the panorama so that I could like chase kids down
Right.
because I would just like go on their TikToks and be and like put them on blast and be like, I would just like to mention that you don't have your essay done, but I do see that you know the entire Savage dance. So that's great. You are a savage, but so am I. Get to work. Like they're like, oh my God, like why is my teacher? I would like duet them and they would be like, no, take it down, take it down. I'll do the work. Take it down, take it down. You have too many followers. Take it down. I'm like,
Oh my
get my
god.
essay turned in. You have 3 hours before it goes back up. So I literally just got it to like stalk kids. And now I'm like, oh, I can learn all of the things that the kids are doing, but I still have a side part because I don't care.
I heard about that, and this.
Yeah. I will, you can have my laughing emoji when you pry for my cold, dead fingers. And I'm never wearing mom
Wait,
jeans, and
wait,
skinny jeans are life.
wait. The laughing emoji's old now.
Am I the first one to tell you that you're old, Ashby?
I'm not old enough, but
Yeah, you are. The laughing with the cry tears,
yeah.
that is an old people
No, it
emoji.
isn't. All right, wait.
Ashby, it is.
Well, you talked. Well, you teach eighth grade, right? So I guess whatever. I don't care about those losers.
They're like, I don't, I follow like maybe, like I follow my kids who like have followed me, but like I don't follow random
Yeah,
eighth graders.
I made a few TikToks myself. They're probably not as good as yours, but
Did you follow me? I can't wait
yeah.
to go see what's on your
I
TikToks.
just I just followed you.
Yes. Adding to my followers. Oh, there you are. Well, that's exciting. I never would have found you. Follow back.
I'll just see like trends and just do them. Don't look at my TikToks. All right.
All right, I gotta go. I have to look at your TikToks.
But
This was fun. Thanks for inviting me, Ashby.
thank you. I have a ton of respect for you. And you're
I
awesome.
know, I'm the best.
I love the confidence.
Dude, nothing can break me down. I teach middle school girls. There is no meaner creature in the world than a middle school girl.
Oh, I know. Oh, I know.
And I'm queen of them all. All right, friend. I'll see you. I go see your mom, then text me that you're home. And next time you're around, we'll plan a drink when there's not a panorama outside.
And we'll make TikToks.
And we'll make, yes, we'll make TikToks with laughing emojis
yeah, you're gonna wear skinny jeans.
and a side part. And I'm gonna do your hair in a side part too.
Right here. All right.
Good luck. All right, I'll talk to you later, Ashby.
Yep.